Hey, welcome back to EdTech by Meera, and in today's lesson we are going to do arithmetic operators in Python. Now this is most important to carry out different calculations in Python. So let's consider some values here. Let's say a variable with a value of 7, y with a value of 4. X is 7, y is 4. Then the solution, you want to add both x and y. So solution, another variable created equals x plus y, and then print solution, which is short SOL. I've written, you can write anything else for the name of the variable. So let's figure out how much it is. 7 plus 4 obviously is gonna be 11, but we still check it out. There you go, it's 11, but we just did it the Python way. Yeah, so this is the Python way of adding two numbers. So this was about addition. Now you can do subtraction with the same values. So instead of x plus y, so the plus symbol is for adding, addition, minus symbol is for subtraction. So x minus y, how much is it? Obviously 3. That's very simple mathematics. 7 minus 4 is 3. Now if you do it the reverse way, y minus x, 4 minus 7, it will give you a negative value, just to show you. So Python will also work the same way, and it will give you a negative 3. As you can see, 4 minus 7 will give you minus 3 when you print the solution. There you go, minus 3. So it's pretty simple now, but when you deal with larger numbers and complex numbers and fractions, etc., then you'll realize the importance of these arithmetic calculators. So we've done, so there are different types. So first one we've dealt with addition, then the subtraction, yeah, with positive and negative integers, it could be both. Now here we are just considering the value of y as a negative number, and then when you do x minus y, it will be obviously, it will become x plus y, because minus minus is plus, so then it will add up, just to show you. So the arithmetic principle, it works the same way when you do Python, just that we are creating variables and then printing it out. Yeah, and then when you do x plus y with y being a negative number, it will give you 3, because then it will become x minus y because of the negative value of y. So this is simple, pretty arithmetic and mathematics, which we already studied in grade 2, right? Yeah, but just to bring it back to you, haha. Sometimes we forget what we studied in grade 2. So this is a quick refresher. Think of it as a quick refresher if you're already good. Then multiplication. So that's quite simple again. The multiplication operator is shown by an asterisk like here. So x multiplied by y, the asterisk sign stands for the multiplication operator. So 7 multiplied by 4 would give you 28. 28. That's again pretty simple. Considering the fact we are showing a simple number, simple integers, just for example's sake. But later on in your projects, you might be working with complicated numbers, etc. So then next comes the division operator, which is shown by the forward slash, not your division sign that you do in mathematics. So when you do that, you get a float number, which is 1 point something. So there you go. You get a float as an answer, because it's not fully divisible, so you get a number with a decimal, which you call it a float in Python. Yeah. Then so you have addition. We've completed addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. And the same thing goes for division. If you use negative integers in the solution also, you'll end up with that value of negative answer. Now, you'll find that if you give the value, if you consider the value as 4.0, then also you get the value as a float 1.75. And when you consider y as an integer, just 4, still you get the value, the quotient value, as a float number here. So whether it is whether the operands are floats or integers, yeah, in your answer, the quotient, when you divide, you get the quotient, right? So the quotient will always end up being a float number. This is just to show that I'm doing it this way. There you go. So I So this is considered a float, 5.0. Instead of writing the quotient as 5, we are getting the outcome 5.0, which is a float. So this is an important observation when you divide. Even if it's two integers without a decimal, the answer will be in decimal, or rather float value. And if there's nothing after the decimal, it will show as 0.0, like here, the example here. Okay, so let's consider more examples. Now, when you divide 20 by 2, for example, instead of getting the quotient as 10, the quotient here is showing as 10.0, which is a float. So this is just to mention the importance of division operator amongst arithmetic operators in Python. This is one of the main rules that you have to remember. Now, let's do. Now this was integer. This was the float division. Division, as in the case of giving the quotient as float. Now, when you consider this another division, which is the floor division. Okay, so now you've understood the importance and how the division operators work. Whether it's positive number, positive integer, negative integer. Negative integer will give you the negative quotient, and whether it is integer or float, answer will be the quotient, answer will be in decimal, that is float value. Now let's consider another type of division, which is called floor division, which we've already done earlier in some projects and in some other definitions. And how is that shown? Let's see. Sorry. Okay, but before we go forward to that, I want to tell you that it's not necessary always to write the variable and then print it out. You can just print out directly with the numbers or the integers, sorry. So here, I want to perform the floor division directly. Print -5 floor division 2. So floor division is shown by 2 forward slashes like here. And remember, in floor division, the decimal value is not shown. Anything after the decimal goes away. So here, as you can see, 5 divided by 2 will be 2 point something, right? But after the decimal, the values won't be shown. That is called floor division. So here, -5 divided by 2 will be just not showing you the value after the 2, but it will give you a negative value of integer. Now let's consider 5.0 float 2. Then it will give you a float value 2.0. Again, that's a float. It is not showing the complete decimal value, it will round up. Because in float, it always rounds up things after the decimal. It tries not to show you the value after the decimal. The floor division, sorry. So this is about floor division. Let's consider some examples. More examples, I mean. Okay, 10 with, let's consider one number which is 10, another number, let's say 3. So 3, 3, 3, 9, and then some remainder, but it's just showing you 3. Something after the decimal is not shown. In floor division, it's always like that. So if you want to round up a float without showing the values after the decimal, you can do the floor division. This is what we do normally in projects, Python projects. Okay, let's consider two variables with values of num1 being 4 and num2 being, let's say, okay, 4, 5, 3, whatever, num1 being 3 and num2 being 2. Like you can consider several variables like that, and then you want to create another variable called answer, and you want to store the values of num1 percent num2. Now you know that percent sign symbol is shown for modulus operator. So this is another type of arithmetic operator which is called modulus operator. In modulus operator, what happens? Why do you do that? Using the percent, it's same thing, the division is carried out, but you get the value of the remainder. So print answer. So in this case, when you print the answer, you get 3 divided by 2, not the quotient, you will get the remainder. So remainder is always, when you divide 3 by 2, the remainder is obviously 1, remember, right? And then you can practice that with if for example there is no remainder, let's say 2 divided 2%, 2, that is 2 divided by 2. If you want to find the modulus, then obviously it's fully divisible, so the remainder will be what? 0. The quotient will be 1 and it's fully divisible, no remainder, so in that case the modulus value will be 0. That is, the remainder value will be 0 using the modulus operator. So the main ones are almost over. There's one more which is called the exponential operator. Okay. Now for exponential operator, it is shown between the two operands, you'll write 2 asterisks, which means the left operand to the power of the right operand, num2, num1 to the power num2, whatever. So 3, num1 was 3, num2 was 2, so 3 to the power 2 will raise to the power 2 will obviously be 9. 3 3s are 9, right? So the answer will be 9. You can do it vice versa also. You can say, you can also find the answer for num2 raised to the power num1, 2 to the power 3, 2 raised to the power 3, that is the exponent in this case will be 3, in the previous case exponent was 2, right? 3 raised to the power 2 means exponent is 2. So that's why this is called a exponential operator. It will help you to find the exponent of numbers using 2 operands. Now obviously when you do it vice versa, you get the value of 8, because 2 raised to the power 3, 2 to 4, 4 2s are 8. So then you will get the value as 8 when 2 is raised to the power 3. 2 multiplied 3 times, in other words. So that is the exponent for you. So that's using the exponent operator. So you covered addition, subtraction, division, multiplication, and modulus and exponentiation operator. So there are so many that you covered. Now, when you do the arithmetic calculation, the order is always from left to right. And you must have heard of the rule in arithmetic, BODMAS, BODMAS. This is just a trick to remember in what order you have to do. If you remember your class, I think 5th grade or 6th grade, we've already covered this, right? BODMAS. So this is order like when you have an expression. This is only carried out when you have an expression, not in equations, mind you. So if you have an expression, which I'll show you an example, then when you want to find out the solution and carry out the calculation, you follow the BODMAS. And this is a universal rule which applies not only in arithmetic mathematics, but also when you do arithmetic calculations in Python. The universal rule follows, so which is called BODMAS. Some people also follow another rule called PEDMAS, but depends on the country. So I'm used to more of BODMAS, so I show you here this one. So B stands for brackets. Then order will be order of exponents or roots, like if you have square roots, exponents, etc. So that will follow that. Then you have After that, D stands for division, multiplication. So division or multiplication, whichever one comes in first when you're walking through from left to right, going from left to right. If division comes first, you do division. Multiplication comes first, you do that. Then last is addition or subtraction, that is going from left to right. If addition comes first, you do addition. If subtraction comes first, you do subtraction. So this is the order when you walk your pencil from left to right in an expression. So let's consider an expression something like this. A simple one I'll show you. Here, for example's sake, first I'll write the arithmetic symbols, and after that I'll change it to the Python operators, arithmetic operators, because they're slightly different. If you know, for multiplication and division, the symbols are different in arithmetic and Python. Okay, so this is a simple arithmetic expression within the bracket or parenthesis, 8 multiplied by 3 and then divided by, so this is a division sign in Python, divided by let's just adjust the space, divided by 8 plus 1, and then outside the bracket or the parenthesis you have multiplied by 3. So let me adjust the positions and the spaces accordingly. In such expression, this is called an expression, a mathematical expression or an arithmetic expression rather. So you need to find the answer, the solution to this. This is an expression, 8 multiplied by 3 divided by 8 plus 1 multiplied by 3. The whole thing multiplied by 3. Now when you get something like this kind of expression, you are supposed to solve using the BODMAS rule. Yeah? And here we want to first solve it using just simple straight away Python. So we associate this, assign it to a variable called A, and then we just straight away print A. Simple, right? The Python machine will do it for us. Run the program. Let's see what answer it's giving us. There's some syntax problem. Okay, I know where it's gone wrong because I forgot to comment something above it. So whenever you're writing new variables, you have to comment out the previous variables. Otherwise, the values will interfere with the second one. So let me comment out the previous whatever statements and sentences. Okay, I have to comment out these things. Otherwise, this will interfere with the formulas and the codes later. Because Python doesn't understand plain English. So that's why we have to comment it out. Okay. Yeah, everything commented. You know what is commented? We want to hide it from the machine so that this is not visible to the machine and not visible to the user, only visible to the programmer. Okay, so 8 multiplied by 3 divided by 8 plus 1 within parenthesis multiplied by 3. This is a simple expression. We assign the whole expression to a variable called A, and then we print A. And then we run the program, we get the solution as 12.0 as a float. Yeah. Now what we need to do is, we need to do it manually using the BODMAS and then check whether the result is coming the same. Okay, so instead of using the print command and the Python command code, we will just solve it the mathematical way. Yeah, using BODMAS. So because it has to follow a certain order, so we just follow that order. Remember the BODMAS order. So first and foremost, now this is within the parenthesis. So first we have to solve whatever is inside the parenthesis, because B stands for brackets, remember. Okay, so this is works like a bracket, the parenthesis. So inside that, whatever comes from left to right, division or multiplication. Multiplication comes first, 8 multiplied by 3. So we solve for that, becomes 24, and then write the rest of the expression as it is. Then again, next we come to the next line, division comes first, 24 divided by 8. So that is 3. Division, we follow the division on the left hand side. So 3 plus 1, again, close the bracket, multiply. Then again, whatever is inside the bracket done first. So 3 plus 1, 4. 4 multiplied by 3, 12. We get the same answer. So, quite simple. Following BODMAS will give us the same answer that we get using the Python code. Because what I'm trying to say is Python code also follows BODMAS while the machine is calculating. So this is what I wanted to say. 12. It's just 12.0 as a float. We got it as 12 as an integer. That's the difference. So this is just to see you in the next. If you want more BODMAS arithmetic examples and tutorial, let me know in the comments below. I will make a very complicated one for you so that you'll love doing maths. Let me